Have you ever walked out of a doctor's office feeling more confused than when you walked in? Or maybe you finally worked up the courage to share. The brain fog, the crushing fatigue, the mood swings that you cannot explain. And instead of getting help, you got a blank stare, or worse, a brush off. You're told your labs are normal. It's probably stress. It's just a part of getting older. There's nothing I can do for you. If any of these answers sound familiar, I see you and I was you. 2 years ago, I was blindsided by relentless fatigue, deep burnout, and an overwhelming sense that something inside of me was off. I knew I was in perimenopause, but these symptoms felt different. They felt deeper. Something was wrong. So I did what so many of us are told to do. I went to my GP, my general practitioner, because my insurance covers most of my labs. And I figured it was a smart first step before paying out of pocket to run them myself. But what happened next shook me. I got blamed for my symptoms. I sat there in the cold, sterile office, vulnerable and hopeful for some answers. And within minutes, she looked at me, basically rolled her eyes and said, "You've been in here a few times with the same issues and you still haven't figured it out. Honestly, I don't think I can help you." I was a bit stunned, but I wasn't done. That moment did not break me. It lit a fire under me because I knew something was wrong. I knew my body, right? I am the CEO of my health and I do this for a living myself. And I knew that I deserved better, just like you do. In that moment, I advocated for myself and got the lab slip to help put the pieces together. Here's what I said. I know that I'm still trying to figure this out. That's why I want you to run these labs. So please run them so that I can take a deeper look into what is happening in my body. And today, I want you to feel empowered, knowledgeable, and prepared. Because in this episode of the Energize podcast, we're going to rewrite the script that so many women have been handed in healthcare. We're diving into how to be heard and taken seriously at the doctor's office, particularly in midlife, when our bodies are changing and transitioning, and so few doctors are prepared to know how to take care of us. So this episode is going to unpack what to track, what to ask, how to advocate, and when to walk away. This is your guide to reclaiming your voice in a system that all too often tells women to be quiet or to ignore their symptoms. Let's get into it. Unfortunately, my story is not unique, and that's not my only story. I've been blamed or gaslit on multiple occasions as early as 18 and 19 years old. I've heard from thousands of women who've had similar experiences, women who've been my patients, right? Who've come to me after another doctor completely ignored and brushed them off. Now, it's really what led me to record episode 319. Now, I know that this is episode 661, so it was way back, but let me tell you, I have been thinking and feeling this for a long time. So episode 319 on the Energize podcast was 10 red flags, how women are being gaslit in medicine today. And I'll link to the show notes in case you want to go check out that episode. The truth is, women's symptoms are too often minimized. They are misattributed to emotions or brushed off as just getting older, or that it's all in our head, right? We think about how often women have been called hysteric or whiny women or constant complainers in the medical system. And this is especially true for women of color, for midlife women, and for those navigating perimenopause and chronic conditions like autoimmunity, thyroid issues, endometriosis, and fatigue. This is literally one of the reasons why I wrote the Perimenopause Revolution, to empower you by putting the power back in your hands, because you deserve to be heard, supported, and given genuine answers during this transformative transition. And it's packed with everything that you need to thrive, from hormone resets to metabolic hacks to radical self-advocacy. I am setting you up to win, especially on your hardest days. This isn't just another wellness book. It's a rallying cry for fierce self-advocacy, vibrant health, and unstoppable energy, because you deserve it. Now, if no one has told you today or ever, I want you to know that you deserve a gold standard of care that actually addresses the whole picture: your symptoms, your labs, your goals, and your history. Perimenopause and menopause are comprehensive, and you deserve a comprehensive and personalized approach to perimenopause and menopause care. And honestly, just women's health care. Even today, the average woman waits 7 to 10 years for a proper diagnosis of conditions like Hashimoto's and other autoimmune issues. And with perimenopause, most doctors don't even acknowledge it unless you start skipping periods and have symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats. Most practitioners do not know how to identify or even solve for perimenopause symptoms. A recent study of 6,000 women in the UK found that 1/3 of women had between 2 and 5 medical appointments before their symptoms were diagnosed as linked to perimenopause and menopause. Now, in the US, it's 4 to 6 visits before their symptoms are diagnosed as linked to perimenopause or menopause, given the lack of perimenopause and menopause education provided in medical schools and residency. You are not imagining your symptoms. You are not overreacting. You are the expert on your own body. Those symptoms, they're real, right? And they're disruptive. And your health deserves to be taken seriously. So how do you ensure your voice is heard in the exam room when your doctor is running a full bill of patients for the day? I want to say that start by preparing like you would for any important meeting. Here's how. I recommend tracking your symptoms for 2 to 4 weeks in a journal or an app. Write out your concerns, your questions and goals. What do you want to get out of the visit? Bring key data: cycle patterns, sleep quality, energy dips, digestive issues, weight fluctuations, and mood changes. Bring labs, test results that you've done in the past that can really lend to what is going on with you, and a list of treatments or supplements you've already tried. And then I recommend empowering yourself with some pretty strategic questions, especially if you are in midlife and navigating the perimenopause and menopause journey. You're going to want to ask questions like, can we run a full thyroid panel, including antibodies? Do you know how many women are going through thyroid pause as well? Or how many millions of us have thyroid issues that have not been identified? It's just important to look, especially if your energy and your mental bandwidth is just struggling. It's worth looking at a full thyroid panel. Your thyroid is your metabolic gas pedal, and you need to know if it's working properly. A next question: could this be related to perimenopause or hormone shifts? Or if these labs come back normal, but I still feel off, what are the next steps? Also, what's your approach to integrative or functional treatments? Although I have a feeling I'm going to know the answer to that. Do you work with midlife women? What's your experience? Do you prescribe hormone replacement therapy to your patients? And how often? Right? Find out, are they even a provider for HRT? Because we've gone 20 years without really prescribing hormone replacement therapy. Most doctors don't know how to do it. These questions put you in the driver's seat. They invite a conversation, not just a prescription or a brush off. Now, here are some red flags to watch for. And I think what's important, because I get how nerve-wracking and stressful it can be to be in an exam room and to advocate for yourself. I have been in those situations where I have felt like I've completely lost control of the situation, right? Where it was just kind of happening at me and to me. And I kind of got a little shocked, or I just lost my voice. So, but there's something to be said, like your body kind of knows, right? You can feel when something doesn't feel right, when things start to constrict and tighten, and you just know something isn't right. So some red flags to look out for. Your labs are normal, so you're fine. This is just a part of aging. You're being rushed or dismissed in the office, right? You're just quickly not even able to say what you need to say. There's no deeper testing or exploration or explanation offered. If this happens, it's okay to say, this doesn't feel complete. I'd love a second opinion. I even remember when my son, had some eye issues, and the doctor was, ooh, man, it was so intense, and it felt like he was blaming me. And it kind of felt like it got out of hand really quickly. And I remember feeling like, I'm like, I'll come back later. I want to get a couple other opinions, and I knew I needed to go find other answers for him. So here are tips for being heard in the exam room. I know I shared a little bit already, but I would say practice your opening statement or have it on paper. Here's what I'm expecting. Here's what I'm hoping we can explore. So what I always do is I come in with my paper. I come in with my labs. I come in with I make kind of a bulleted checkpoint. Let's say I know I have Hashimoto's, right? That's an autoimmune condition I have. So I make a note that I want the full panel of thyroid labs. I make a note of my most disruptive symptoms that I really want to address that day. And I make a note of all the labs that I want ran so that I can, interpret them myself, honestly, and move from there. Because so often my labs are normal, but some of them aren't always optimal. So, okay, I need to take a look at that. I've had low vitamin D levels where my doctor's like, it's good, normal, you're great. And I'm like, oh, this isn't a good vitamin D level, right? And so again, it's important to not only have labs in optimal ranges, a reference range that you can go and kind of cross review your labs with, which I'm giving you in the book. I'm giving you in the epic bonuses. I mean, I'm hooking you up with all of that, right? And it's another thing to kind of get that validation with if your labs, vitamin D levels are low or magnesium levels are low or your highly sensitive CRP is a little bit high, that it kind of starts to validate some of the things that you're experiencing. So again, have that piece of paper, have those labs that you want to run, and have the goals, the things that you really want to touch upon when you go in there. And I just reference the paper because so often, even I can just get off track about what I really want to accomplish in that visit, given the questions that they're asking me. Also, if you can, which it's enough just to get to the doctor's office. I get it. You're taking time away from work or time away from family. It's a whole thing, right? And then you have to come back and get labs done because so often they need to be fasted labs. I understand that it's a lot of time away. So I just want to honor that. But if you feel like you're not getting what you need, bringing someone with you, a friend, a partner, or a health advocate can be so helpful because they can take notes. They can document what is said. Like if something feels off, have them say so, or you say so. If you feel dismissed, it's okay to find another provider. I know this can feel daunting, but your health and your quality of life is on the line. You deserve a provider who listens and who is on your team, who is working this out. And if they don't have the answer, there are times where I don't have the answer, that I am willing to go and reach out and find the answer for you. Okay, so what do you do when your labs are normal, but normal is not the same as optimal, right? I just kind of went over this a little bit, but I want to go in a little bit more deeper. So if your labs are in the quote unquote normal range, but you still feel awful, I would ask for a functional interpretation. And if they can't do that, I would even ask for deeper testing, especially hormone panels, nutrient levels, gut health markers, inflammation labs. If you cannot get those from your insurance-based provider, you can seek to a direct-to-consumer lab from companies like Function Health or Joy Wellness to get a more comprehensive look into what is going on. Because you deserve more than a generic answer. I mean, there's a reason why you went to the doctor's office in the first place, right? You didn't go because you felt incredible and amazing and healthy. You went because something's not right and you want to know more. You want to figure out what is going on. And you deserve to understand what your labs are telling you. As I mentioned, for a comprehensive list of labs to request during perimenopause, along with optimal reference ranges, I just released an episode on this topic. It was episode 650. It's called Unlock Your Health, the Ultimate Biomarker and Lab Blueprint to Thrive in Midlife and Beyond. And I break it down. But also I make sure that you have the link for my perimenopause survival guide with everything written out for you. It's got a symptom tracker in there. It has the labs you want to ask for in midlife. It has lab reference ranges as well, so that you really are feeling prepared. And worst case, you get the labs and you can cross-reference them on in this guide, all this information that I'm giving you, because you deserve to know what's going on with your body. Another thing that I think is really important is that your provider sees you as a partner, not a problem. So be honest, share your health goals, ask questions. A good doctor welcomes collaboration. I love it when women come to me with questions and concerns, and that I really get to help navigate with them. And so often I am very honest about, what I know for sure and what we're going to explore together, because every person is different, right? You are your own N of one, and a good doctor knows that, and they're willing to look at everything in a very meaningful way as it pertains to you. Because it's one thing for a doctor to give protocols, right? I want you to A, B, C, and D. It's another thing for you to be able to actually do them. So I may want you to walk, let's say 12,000 steps a day, but let's say you've got a job and a life that's not even possible. And so let's say, but I'm just like, no, 12,000 steps. That's it. That's how we're doing it. And it's not even attainable. Do you know how stressful that can feel? How disconcerting and discouraging that feels? So you want to work with a doctor who isn't just barking orders at you or barking protocols with you, is willing to see the lifestyle that you have. And mind you, it's a fine balance between, living an unhealthy lifestyle and having a life that you kind of got to work around, right? It's kind of a there's a middle in between both. And so for me as a practitioner, let's say you can't do quote unquote 12,000 steps a day. I don't even do 12,000 steps a day some days of the week. You got to be intentional about hitting 12,000 steps. So let's say instead, I want you to do, 10 squats 4 times a day, or I want you to clock at least 7,000 steps. Again, we figure out what is manageable and what is doable, and we work from there. And at the end of the day, a doctor, the intention is one, figuring out what's going on with you, helping you to find a meaningful answer and a solution, and making it work for you and your body, and being open to tailoring. Like a good doctor is following up, figuring out what's working, what's not working, how can we make it work? That's what a good doctor is doing. And if you're not getting that, right, you're allowed to walk away so that you thrive in this journey, not just survive. So some considerations to look at when it comes to alternative and functional testing options. And functional testing can be a game changer to get to the root cause. Think a comprehensive hormone panel, FSH, LH, testosterone panel, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, melatonin, right? Looking at all of these markers and really getting a good sense of what is going on. Comprehensive thyroid and adrenal test, micronutrient testing, gut health panels, neurotransmitter and inflammation markers. These tests offer a deeper picture, one that most standard labs miss. Now, mind you, your typical GP or OBGYN isn't going to run most of this. They're just not. But you can go and get comprehensive labs ran from direct-to-consumer companies like Joy and Function Health, as I mentioned, or Inside Tracker. And there's a lot that you can get just from your provider alone that can give you a window into what is going on. But if you want to dive deeper, because everything is quote unquote normal, there are other tests to really go and dig deep. And here's the truth. The more that you know, the more empowered you become. That's why I created the Energize podcast, to help close the knowledge gap, support you with tools, and show you the root cause path to true healing. If you're starting this journey, I just recommend to start small. Track your cycle if you're cycling. Track your biggest symptoms so that you are clear on what's going on. For me, that's my migraines. It's definitely my biggest symptoms. And I want to know, is there a pattern to these migraines? What is going on? What is preventing them? What is making them worse? So that I have information to make modifications for myself and to take them to a practitioner. Listen to one podcast. Ask one question at your next visit. You deserve to feel heard. You deserve to feel better. And again, you deserve to be the CEO of your health. And with the tools that I'm giving you today, with the types of questions and how to be prepared, I'm telling you, you can really own that in the exam room. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. There are so many doctors and providers out there like me who deeply understand what it's like to be going through this transition, what it's like to be a woman navigating the world, particularly the healthcare system, and what it's like to struggle with symptoms. And you just desperately want answers to feel better again. I get it. So I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this episode helpful, right? Maybe it's the questions, maybe it's the labs, maybe it's just how to prep for that exam, that particular doctor's visit. Please share it with a friend. Share it with your sister or your mom or any woman who's ever felt dismissed or overlooked in the exam room. Together, we are rewriting the story of women's health, one conversation at a time. And we are changing the narrative about how women are treated, not only in clinical research, but also bedside. And don't forget to check out the show notes for the free Thriving in Perimenopause Survival Guide. Again, it has that symptom tracker, it has the lab checklist, and it has everything that you really need to take to your next doctor's appointment, along with my best non-negotiable perimenopause hacks. So I don't want you to think that you're only just going to get how to prep for your doctor's visit, how to have fierce advocacy. No, there is so much more to this guide. And it's just a small taste, like a small sampling of what you're going to get in the Perimenopause Revolution book, right? You are going to find everything that you need to future-proof your health in the upcoming book. And I will have a link to the book as well, because it's available for pre-order right now. And all of the epic bonuses are available to you today. So if you are ready to reclaim your health, you're ready to feel more amazing. I'm talking about today, on the hard days, on the great days. Like, you want the needle moving tools and recommendations that will have you feeling just incredible in your body. Go and grab the book, because the bonuses are going to get you there. Until next time, I want you to keep honoring your body, honoring your voice, and your health. I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you are ready to learn more about perimenopause and how to navigate with a lot of ease and grace, be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can join our community. Don't forget to share this video with someone that you love, that you know is navigating the perimenopause journey as well, because they deserve to feel their best too. See you in the next video.